Drugs and alcohol, as far as the service provider perspective, it's tearing our community apart.
I mean, unfortunately, I think the use of drugs and alcohol is a catalyst in unhealthy relationships.
We know in the brain, especially with heroin, that it replaces our relationships.
You know, I know for a fact that there have been syringes found on this, the streets many times throughout the year locally. So it's visible.
Just because you're under the influence doesn't mean you're going to be abusive, but it does increase the chance that that's going to happen. We talk about that.
Domestic violence is devastating enough, and then when you add the layer of drugs and alcohol, you have a need for community service providers to become involved. You potentially have a criminal justice system that's even more impacted, because not only is there the crime of domestic violence, but then you have sometimes illegal drugs being used.
So I see a lot of our service in breaking that generational cycle and saying, just because things happened in this generation doesn't mean they have to happen in the next.
I'm the community educator for Hands of Hope in Wabash County, and I go to all of the local high schools and speak to the health classes at least once a semester about healthy relationships and dating abuse and domestic violence awareness.
It is a critical piece in the schools and in the community. Because when we talk about domestic violence, if we only focus on victims, if we only focus on providing safe shelter and a crisis line and court assistance and referrals, we're going to be doing that forever.
We had started 5 years ago a program called TADA, which stands for Teens Against Dating Abuse, and we do awareness projects.
TADA is a group that spreads the message of self-respect and respecting others, and it's a great group to be part of.
We promote respect throughout the community. We focus that awareness towards the high schoolers because they're the next generation.
I think she has about 20 to 25 students with the two schools, and she bonds with them.
They're in charge. She really does a great job of letting her TADA group be in charge of themselves and giving them the opportunity to do the things that adults don't always let teenagers do, even though they're completely capable human beings.
Now, it's a group that people recognize. In the community, they hear TADA and they know what TADA means.
Some of our things that have become tradition are for prom, we do carnations. Local florists will donate carnations for all of the ladies who go to prom. And so as they enter prom, we'll have TADA members hand them usually a white carnation with a purple ribbon tied on it. Purple is a violence awareness color. And a card that reads, "Expect respect tonight and always," from TADA, donated by Love Bug. And it has just become a tradition now. It's kind of expected that we will have that.
They have a good time, but then they also are discussing the tough things that are needed to be discussed with some of these individuals about relationships, about respect for each other. They participate in the community. They do sidewalk chalking on First Friday. They help me hang ribbons.
When I first entered high school, I was around a lot of negativity, and then I joined TADA, and it was just so full of positivity, and I'm going to continue to use that in my life.
I'm the Domestic Violence Victims Advocate for Wabash County, and what that means is that I deal with domestic violence survivors who are trying to get away from it and looking for resources to help them do so.
So when a victim takes that first step, or when law enforcement's called and a victim's advocate goes to the scene, the piece is so critical that we have an advocate that can be the person that is there standing in the gap, saying, "You're not crazy, you are valued."
She works with victims, and she's kind of their safe place. She can help them get whatever services they need when they decide that they are ready to receive help. It can be, you know, the legal help, what the police protective orders, finding a safe shelter.
I have had clients come to me who are obviously under the influence of something. I'm not judgmental about it because I do believe that most of them have experienced trauma and that they are utilizing a lot of times the drug to help them through that trauma. Though a lot of them, it's just their clique of people who they ran around with. I don't, you know, go, okay, you're out of here. I just encourage them not to do it again when they come to see me. And then, of course, I always refer them to programs that might be helpful for them to get off of the substance.
She is so available to the community. She really is available to police officers so much. So I think the biggest unique part is that she's integrated in the community. Nowhere else have I seen a community member be so actively involved in this kind of work.
Heidi is non-judgmental. Heidi cares. Heidi knows the resources in the community that she can link a victim to.
Those advocates are so amazing. They have such an incredible gift that they can give. I didn't know anything about this therapy, nothing at all. Had they not told me about it, I would have never come, but also I have a very low income. So had they not told me that there was a domestic violence grant where I could come for free, I wouldn't have even looked into it.
One of the slogans that Hands of Hope has is encourage, educate, and empower. Well, in reference to empower, that's where it's crucial to create a situation for this individual to take their power back. My goal as an advocate is to earn their trust, first of all, so that they feel comfortable enough with me to open up and let me know their needs. Because eventually the goal is to find out what their goals are to make their lives better.
My job is therapist with Hands of Hope. My primary role is to work with victims and survivors who are referred through our program. So we are lucky enough to have a grant that pays for my services 100%.
Having Erin Davis as our part-time therapist is invaluable. I think the reason it's invaluable is that none of us can get that client to the next level as effectively as a therapist can.
There were a lot of years when I felt like there was this piece missing, but now we have that piece to say, I can get you the help that you need through this therapist that Hands of Hope now offers, free of charge in a lot of cases.
When a victim is ready to take the change, we need that expert in the clinical area to say, this is how you rebuild your self-esteem. This is how you rebuild your self-worth. This is how you work through all the terrible issues that has taken place in that relationship.
I focus on a wellness perspective, and a lot of times a wellness perspective means focusing on immediate crises. So a lot of the individuals I meet with come in with a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear. They're actively in situations that are dangerous, and I see drugs and alcohol often keep that cycle going. And it's either because we get so lost in that numb feeling that we stop seeing how bad it is. We stop seeing how hard it is for us at that moment, or our abusers use it against us.
I went after everything I could get my hands on, trying to find some drug that was going to make me feel happy inside. And because of that, my family alienated me even more. And that set the groundwork for me to become a victim later, because I've already felt like I was ruined and bad. So what kind of man is going to want me? Another ruined bad one.
My role is to provide a safe place, which is why a lot of times we have locked doors, to provide a safe place where they can get that human care that they need. So a lot of what I do is working through relaxation and building trust so that they have an opportunity to finally be themselves, which they've not been able to be in so long.
When I came here, I was so overwhelmed with fear. I couldn't sleep at night. I couldn't eat. I really couldn't function at all. I couldn't drive in my car without pulling over to have a panic attack every mile. It seemed like I really was, I feel like, close to ending it all because I couldn't stand the fear anymore. And this place saved my life. Just having somewhere to go where the doors are locked and no one can get me, and there's a sweet person here who cares enough to try to make me feel safe.
Erin has a passion for domestic violence, and you have to have that in order to be effective. And victims can sense that.
Therapy with Erin. I'm amazed at how open our clients are to contacting Erin when it first came up, because you know, some of the clients that we're dealing with, that is not anything they even considered doing.
It just comes back to that idea that people are people are people are people are people are people. That because people exist, they are valuable. It doesn't take anything else. If you exist, you're valuable and worthwhile.
I spent the majority of my life feeling really worthless and bad, hating myself, feeling like I don't deserve anything good in life. And I didn't realize that that could change. That could change. You could fix that. And so, learning to not hate myself, learning that there's people out there who could love me no matter how broken I am and invest so much of their time into fixing me, just touched me deep inside. I feel like I've been given a whole new chance on life. This place is so important. Domestic violence is something that you can't just talk about freely. A lot of people judge you, they blame you. That never once happened here. Never once. Just having a safe place to go. Someone that you can tell all these horrible dark secrets to, who doesn't judge you and wants to help, is so priceless. And if people don't have that, I don't know how they can make it through. This place is crucial. It's so needed.